I can describe it like this. We all like a Sunday roast, right? 3-course meal, glass of wine, and it takes a while, and everyone has a conversation, you talk. To me, that's a test match, right? You can't have that every day. Occasionally, you just want to drive through McDonald's and have a Big Mac and chips, right? So that's T20. So if you get the balance right between it all, it can both help each other. I think T20 cricket is helping Test cricket be more exciting. I think Test cricket is giving the players a foundation to actually allow them to play T20 cricket. So I think we need both. But if we have too much of one, then I think we're in trouble. So too much T20 cricket or too much Test cricket, we crave the other. So we get that balance right, and I think both can survive. And the biggest thing that we need to do, the ICC need to get a hold of all the superstars that play the game now, all the legends of the game, and do a huge thing on Netflix, a drama, a 3-4 part about why Test cricket is so good. And educate the younger people of today of why Test cricket is so good, because everyone's busy. Everyone's got someone to see. Everyone needs to go, well, I've got to go now, I've got to go now. Young people haven't got that patience. They want it right now, they want it instant. Social media, they don't straight away, everything is instant. So to help them understand what Test cricket is about and not get bored, it's important to educate them why that battle of Test cricket and the tactics and the drama and how it all unfolds is really important. So I think the ICC should spend money on educating the younger generations about why Test cricket is so good. And I also believe that they should have a huge check. There should be like a $15, $20 million check for the #1 Test team in the world at the end of a cycle when you've played everyone. Then that check, that winning team can do what they want with it. They might want to donate it all to charity. They might want to keep half to charity. They might want to do whatever. So there's a huge incentive. But you look when we watch the golf and the FedEx. How exciting is the FedEx of golf? 15 million or whatever it is now. If we had something like that in Test cricket, you imagine it gets down to the top 2 teams. Who's going to win this Test match? Whoever wins plays India in the final at MCG in front of 90,000 people. I mean, it'd be fantastic. So I think there should be some sort of incentives like that. They've got the money.
Gentlemen, you're right. We'll write the check. But I'll tell you one thing. One is the only batsman, player in the world who has scored 3,000 runs without scoring a century.
Wow. Yeah, I got the most Test runs in the history of the game without.
Wow.
And here you go, I'll give you one more stat that you might not know. There's 2 players in the history of the game that have taken 300 or more Test wickets, made 3,000 or more runs, and taken 100 or more catches. Ian Botham and me. He's now Lord Botham.
It's coming.
It's coming. It's a long way down to Australia. Down under's a long way.
You get the legends together. Super Sport will do the program.
There you go. There you go. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay.
I think it will be a wonderful way to do something with this.
Thank you. That'd be great.
Yeah, you do it.
Nice. Sounds
I'll
good.
become manager of that team.
You can say the idea was born in this music.
That's it. Exactly. Very good. Thank you again. Now, Reggie, you want to do the last word?
Yeah.
Come.
See, there were 5 cricketers, which I just noted, were legends, and this was in somebody's own right. And they were not legends, but they were actually the best in history. One was Bradman, 2 was Hutton, 3 was Sobers, 4 was Viv Richard, and 5th was Warne. So we're talking to one of the 5 greats.
Wow.
I can debate a bit about why Test cricket has very little future despite the 15 million check, which I won't do, because it was he that actually created this entire buzz on IPL. Had the person who didn't ever cricket sort of captain Australia, and the person who came and captained the first ever new format with people who are unknown between India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. He created a South Indian diaspora in cricket, which is something which is not talked about. He is the person who took unknown people and made them heroes. He's a person who took an unknown meaning concept of cricket, and actually made it famous. So he is the same guy who was telling you about the long format cricket and supporting you. He's the one that ruined it because of him he did it. So what happened is, this is a small story, not about ourselves and not about me for sure, but it's definitely my involvement. And that is, Warne has been with the Royals, and that's really what the friendship is. Now we can say Warne is with me as a friend. And I've got to know him through the years, and it's been really fun. 3 things about him. One is that when he gives you his word, he keeps it. 2, he'll never say anything. If you recorded him, check any of the facts that he said, he'll never tell you something which he doesn't know. And 3rd is, if anybody rings him up at any time of the night and he considers the person a friend, he will help him. So these 3 qualities are something Warne and I did an interesting program. It was on mental health, and it was at the Harvard University. And we had a brain, which was a live brain, which was a Huntington's chorea brain, which is a complicated disease of the nerves. It so happens that I have a personal challenge on that side, my own family now. But he held that brain, and he spoke on the power of the mind over body. And he spoke so eloquently on a subject which most of us would actually be very find it very difficult to speak on, but he spoke about it with such ease and clarity, and made it easy for people around us, including myself, to understand that mental health is not as complicated as we make it out. It's all about understanding the mind. A good healthy mind is about sport, and a good healthy sport is sport itself, but a good sport is also cricket. So the whole logic of what he said, popularize the game that he grew up in, popularize the game that he lived with and is living on, is something that remained in my mind. So I'm saying, to have Harvard University then say, why don't you be a brand ambassador of ours, was really a feather in his cap, something that you all may not know, but it never actualized. But can you imagine, the Harvard University is asking him to become this. And I sent him today a document to read, and I said, Warne, I'm going to ask you in the evening. You won't get your passport. but Warne actually inspired us to do this book, which you all haven't seen, we haven't watched it. It's called A New Innings, and for everybody, it's a new innings. This is a new innings, and I can distribute some more people. I can see other people who get this book. It's about what happened in IPL and what happened to the Rajasthan Royals and why we beat Pink. We are the only team who's been kicked out of the tournament. We are the only team which is riddled with controversy. But we are the only team through India's justice system have won every single court. We've used the best lawyers, meaning from Harish Salve downwards. We spent a lot of money on law because we were not wrong, and we were proved not wrong by the courts. We're the only people who stand vindicated in everything that we did. We fought with BCCI, the same Srinivasan and all kicked us out, the same people. But my personal history with cricket, and therefore it gives me great pride to launch it with Shyam because of his own involvement in preserving history. This book preserves history, preserves Sharne, and preserves what really the legal system in India can do. This is about the business of cricket, and this is about our life as a second innings. My colleague and partner, senior partner, is Manoj Badani. He's a coconut like most of you, brown outside, white inside. So he lives in London, so he speaks much better than me. But he knows that the legal side is something that we've worked on together. And I thought there couldn't be a better place than this place to actually informally launch the book.
Oh, wow.
So with the person who created the entire sort of drift and shift away from mainline cricket to this.
Amazing. Thank you.